Hello. G'day, Owen here, and this is my Stompa. It's a bit of a beast. If I hold up the ruler next to it, you can see it's a little over 12 inches. I might move that where it's closer to the head. You can see there, it's about 13 and a half, nearly 14 inches tall. Makes it a bit bigger than GW's plant pot. I can't show you an actual Stompa because I really think they look pretty terrible, so I don't own one, and they also cost more than my house because GW. But yeah, it's about 13 and a half to 14 inches tall. The real one, according to the internet, is about 12 inches tall in total. And of course mine is completely scratch built. There is one kit part on it which you may be able to spot. Completely scratch built. I've used a PVC pipe skeleton. You can see a few bits of PVC pipe still exposed for the joints. Those will stay exposed. Arms and things will obviously be attached, and there'll probably be some shoulder armour, but you will still be able to see some of that. Otherwise, plastic card of various kinds. There's some wire mesh, there's press studs, there's some old bases, there's a few little plastic dome things that you're meant to stick into scrapbooks. There's some pipe and hose fixtures, there's some cardboard in it even, but we'll see that in more detail when we disassemble it and have a look at all the individual pieces, because it's really too big to get into the details when it's like this. At the moment it's standing there under, well, it's held together with gravity, friction and hope. So the body, legs and hips are all separate. There's no glue in holding them together at the moment. It manages to stick together quite nicely without. It will remain partially dismantleable for storage, painting and transport. But let's start doing a bit of a spin here. And I'm going to be absolutely terrified because I haven't really done this before. And I'm not sure if it's going to fall over, and I don't want it to fall over because it's taking a lot of time. But you can see a lot of the detail there. We will get in and have a better look at that in a moment, but let's just have a full 360 look at it, drink in its majesty and magnificence, and then we'll go and start dismantling it and having a look at the component parts. Bam! Alright, here's the torso and head assembly. This is the first piece that was built. The skeleton is built into this. There are PVC pipe end caps on there for arm joints. Those do rotate and they do come out. Those will be glued in. Those will be glued in place when final assembly occurs. It will be posed. I think it may be that I need to leave them off just to get it to actually fit into a storage case, but I have to work all of that out. So features wise, at the moment this is almost completed. There are some pieces missing. There's going to be a gun emplacement around here, so I haven't detailed that area yet, haven't installed the gun emplacement. Kind of planning on doing all the weapon stuff at the end, and I think there are a few areas around the moon head where I have put down slices of hexagonal plastic rod for bolts, and I want to put round circular rod slices on top of them so that there's a bit of like thread sticking out the top, which I don't think I've done everywhere. But other than that, basically it is completed. So we have down the bottom here, I wanted it to look pretty, I wanted it to be more three-dimensional. I didn't want to just be sticking detail on top of something. So there are some cutouts down here with interesting gubbins in them. That's a press stud there for the big turny wheel valve thing. Quite fond of using them. Lots of different types of plastic card. The engine across the top, we have some PVC pipe pieces. I didn't have the right PVC pipe to link them together, but I found I had a cardboard tube exactly the right size, so that's in there. I am thinking I might beef up those exhausts a little. They're a bit weedy. I like this big exhaust, I like those four things across the top, but I think these need to be a bit beefed up. And of course here, these are hose connectors. I like hose connectors. I use different kinds of hose connectors from different brands. Always look good, so a couple of them in there. There's a bit of a door into the engine's interior. There's the cap off a little sachet of yogurt. Now that I've got a 6-month-old nephew, I'm getting access to a lot more of those because they use those same caps for baby food. Down here, that silver thing down there is actually from a toy petrol tanker. It was a nice shape, so I built that in. Keep going around. We've got more detail underneath now. This has still got all of its text on it that is molded in when you buy it. The others have been cleaned off. The reason for this is actually a replacement part. I was trying to drill holes in the original and it sort of shattered, so I had to go and buy another one. I haven't cleaned it up yet. More detail underneath there. Odd bits and pieces on the moon. Bit of text there reminding me that I want to put some glyphs on there. I need to have a look at the various Orc books to decide what glyphs. And of course we can see the mighty nose cannon. The Super Gatler, I think. The new codex gives every weapon its own silly name and I get really confused with them. So giant Gatling gun thing. And I decided it was amusing to give it to him as a nose. So he's got a nose gun because, why not? And there's a hatch there on the front, a sort of boarding hatch. Also, a Stompa can carry 20 infantry, so they need somewhere to get in and out. This one doesn't look like it would fit 20 infantry, but most GW stuff doesn't look like it would fit what it says it fits, so I'm not really worrying too much. Maybe Orcs sort of come in flat pack or something. I don't know. But this has got quite a lot of detail. It took a fair while to make. I actually started making this at the beginning of the school holidays. One of the great advantages of being a teacher, you get the school holidays. Started making it at the beginning of the school holidays. 4 days into the school holidays I got an incredibly bad cold and that slowed everything down. So here we are about 7 weeks into the project, and I was kind of hoping to get it finished in 2 or 3, but yeah, I did lose quite a lot of time to diseases, unfortunately. So let's have a look at some other parts. Bam! Okay, so this is the hip assembly. This tube slots inside a T-joint at the top, which is built inside the torso. So that holds everything together and allows it to still pivot. Holds it quite strongly. And legs go onto these two here. Technically can be rotated and posed, but I've decided to glue them. It's really going to end up being static. They might remain removable for storage. I've got to have a look at how that's going to happen, but a little bit of detailing on this. We've got the what do they call it? The Orcdeptus Mechanic Orc? No, the Orcdeptus Mechaniac skull. So the Orcs have seen the Adeptus Mechanicus logo and decided they want to copy it. And some rivets, and there's some stuff on the back. And there's these two tubey things. I'm intending, possibly, although this is going to depend a little bit on how the whole thing assembles, these will probably have some flexible tubing linking up to some other some ports on the back of the body, I'm hoping for, and some armour at the back there. Nothing particularly spectacular here, but you can sort of see how the skeleton of this thing works, how everything slots together. Bam! And here we have the legs. Now, we have the upper leg and the foot. They were two separate assemblies. The legs are now glued to the foot. So here you can see the big circular holes that go over the hip joints. Theoretically could rotate. It's probably all going to be glued together there, just because it will probably balance better, be a lot more sturdy. It will depend a little bit on how I intend to store this thing, so they may stay removable, most likely will not. The skirt armors here are removable for painting. They're currently held on with blue tack. I'll take that one off so you can see underneath. The area underneath there is actually quite visible, so I need to make sure I can get in there and paint it. So they're going to stay blue tacked in place for the moment. Down the bottom we've got our gun emplacements. We've got the word Stomp on the front of both feet because I like putting inscriptions on things. Do a bit of a rotate. Back here there's some massive pistons. There do need to be a few more things done to the leg actually. Something that I've planned and keep forgetting. I keep thinking the legs are finished, but they're not. There should be a piston linking here to down there. So I need to make some sort of system for linking that up, get that to happen. Keep rotating. So there's a fair amount of detail on these. I put in the sort of custom force field looking bits. I know it doesn't actually have a custom force field. I just like the way they look. There'll be some sort of power cell. And of course down here I have foot guns because the Stompa mounts an astonishing number of different weapons and I was struggling to figure out where to put all of them. So two of the big shooters have been located in the feet. Briefly I thought about having them in some sort of armoured knee guard, but then the design didn't really work out. So they're in the feet. We've got two massive stompy feet which are going to shoot you and then stomp on you, and you will be a dead Space Marine. The best kind of Space Marine. Got some big runes on the front here, Mech Boy rune and the Scar rune indicating this is a veteran. I don't know, veteran Stomper? It's the rune for like Scar Boy and veteran and stuff, so I don't know, I'm claiming it's a veteran Stomper. Yeah, so big chunky legs, amazingly all hold together quite nicely with the hips put in place, and just friction holds the whole thing up, which surprised the hell out of me. Bam! And this is the torso slotted into the leg, so you can see how this works. The body obviously slots onto this tube here. This all stands up quite happily on its own. There's no glue holding the holding the hips into the legs at the moment. All quite nice and sturdy. And I can now add the body. Okay, so here we go. We're going to add the body. Just hold on there. You can see there's a large hole down here. If we can look inside, you can see the bottom of a plastic, sorry, not plastic, PVC pipe tube T-junction that slots on the top here. Just need to wiggle it around a bit. There we go. And then I just need to find the balance point, and there we go. It's on top again. So this has been taking a while. Next step, of course, is arms. So it's going to have a big chainsaw close combat weapon arm here. The def cannon is going to be on this arm. Other weapons, there will be the gun emplacement there. There will be a flamer, scorcher, located underneath. And super rockets will be launched from the shoulders and from launch rails on top of the head. By default, it has 3. You can give it extras for free, and I can't remember. I think there's a limit. Maybe you can only have 5. I can't remember what it is, but there'll be at least 3 super rockets up there, and you'll just have to come back and see if I've been locked up for being a complete nutter, or if I've added more stuff to this build. Yeah.